The following is a Today's THV special presentation.
Well, we found it. Your own personal reclusive spot where nobody can find you. In fact, we can't even tell you exactly where in Eureka Springs Bonnie Brook Farm is. That's given out to registered guests only. There are 5 cottages here, each with its own special theme.
This is Morning Glory Cottage. We actually built it and positioned it for the full moon.
Each cottage also has its own special vistas and wildlife. Soaring hawks add to the great views.
Of course, deer are plentiful. I'm really mad at them right now. It's hard to have a garden around here with the deer. They've eaten everything.
But Bonnie Brook Farm atop Misty Mountain almost never came to be.
I actually was going to sell the property and probably go to a real job, maybe in Tulsa or something, and decided maybe to just redo one of the little cottages that was on the property. And I'd owned a motel in town. I thought if I could rent it a night or two, it'd help pay for the renovation. And it turned out I was full every night, and there was enough overflow to do another. So I just did one a year for 5 years.
Since the cottages are pretty much plain on the outside, Bonnie says guests are always surprised when they walk inside.
I don't think on a farm, maybe they don't expect the insides to be maybe as elegant as they are. And they love the privacy.
Now, you got quite a good review in Country Heart magazine.
Yes, we were
The most romantic
accommodation in Arkansas. Yes.
Well, that says something.
Yes.
At Bonnie Brook Farm atop Misty Mountain in Eureka Springs, Chuck Dovish, Today's THV, Travelin Arkansas.
Of course, I've got a draw knife. A Native American wouldn't have had such a luxury. He'd had to scrape this down, but I can take a draw knife and really get some wood off.
Terry Hughes of Gurdon used to make fiberglass bows, but now he says he makes them better. All wood, and in the same way the Native Americans made them.
It was just something about primitive archery that sparked my interest, and saw a few bows that were made by Native Americans, and I decided I'd like to try that.
Terry uses a wood called Osage orange in making his bows.
Osage orange is a tree that's native to Arkansas and a few neighboring states. It's a very heavy, dense wood, probably the best bow wood in the world.
The finish that Terry uses on his bows you won't find in any hardware store. It's the same finish Indians used, bear grease.
Bear grease, that's what I use. Bear grease is the best finish you can put on a wooden bow, I'm convinced. And Indians used it, and I don't think they could get a better finish.
So where do you find bear grease? Well, you hunt for bear. In Gurdon, Chuck Dovish, Today's THV, Travelin Arkansas.
We have done every kind of design almost imaginable.
It's furniture that looks like a giant dollhouse, but then it's not. Furniture designer artist Mark Patterson of Hot Springs calls it his facade furniture.
And one time I had a client who decided she wanted something really different, and knowing that she was into what we call the miniature world, we designed a piece of furniture that looked like a big dollhouse.
In the few short years since then, Mark has made quite a name for himself with this type of furniture line. His clients range from Hollywood actors and producers,
Billy Crystal, we designed a custom piece for,
to Disney Studios, and he's even been written about in Architectural Digest. All the designs originate on Mark's home computer, which he used to do all by hand.
In the old days, we had to go back and erase all the windows and move them over a half an inch. With the advent of AutoCAD, editing has become within seconds, that you can move, change, modify.
Mark says at times his ideas come from existing buildings, like a castle in Italy.
As a result, we took this type of design and modified it into something. Of course, this is a very large and very broad and short piece. We have to elongate to make an armoire out of it.
Of course, this type of furniture isn't for everybody or for everyone's pocketbook. But if money is no object, Mark Patterson is the man to call on for all your fantasy furniture ideas. In Hot Springs, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin, Arkansas. When the Hawking family moved to America from Australia 13 years ago, they set up shop in North Little Rock and continued their custom window and door business. But then they got homesick, and about a year ago they started this. Everything Australian, from Aussie clothing to food.
We've got like potato chips. I know you have potato chips over here, but like we have the salt and vinegar and the chicken chips, which just they're to die for sort of thing. And as we go down here, like I say, we've got a bit of a musk stick here. Let's give Truck a bit of a taste of one of these.
Musk stick.
Musk stick, yeah. He may not like it. It's got an interesting taste to it.
It tastes like soap.
Well, like a taste for their own. Let's get rid of the musk stick.
Well, anyway, then there's the popular Aussie Vegemite.
Huh? That's not bad.
Not bad?
Yeah. And you eat this every day?
Every day, mate.
And then there's the native Australian musical instrument, the didgeridoo.
They cut a branch off and they hollow it out, and they put a bit of wax around the top so they can put their lips against it, and they go for it.
Now, if you want the full-blown Aussie effect, you got to go with the dry-as-a-bone jacket, coat, whatever, boomerang, and of course, try to play this thing, the didgeridoo. Relax the lips. It's not as easy as it looks. All right. In North Little Rock, Dovish Dundee, today's THV, Travelin, Arkansas. We've done a lot of stories throughout the years on various things that are made in Arkansas. Well, this one is a fella in Heber Springs who makes bumper cars. Actually, it's a tilt-a-whirl and a bumper car all in one. John Glenn, Arkansas's John Glenn that is, who operates Funland in Heber Springs, decided 5 years ago he could build something better than the traditional bumper car.
I got to thinking they ought to be a machine that would be a lot more fun than other machines that's out there and yet safe. And so I came up with this idea and made one, put it on the park. Everybody liked it. So I started building them for to sell to other parks.
And those other parks are in 25 states and 8 countries. Just call Glenn the spin doctor of bumper cars.
These cars will spin, giving you that tilt-a-whirl ride. You can ride the cars, you can get them in a spin, and they'll spin, slinging you back in the seat, much as you would experience in a ride on a tilt-a-whirl.
Glenn's spin and bump cars come in either electric or gas models. But inventor John Glenn isn't stopping here. No, sirree. Currently, he's working on a prototype of an amphibious vehicle for duck hunters.
It'll go on water, land, mud, snow, and it runs on a tracks.
Glenn says he hopes to have the vehicle ready by this fall's duck hunting season.
Get them back, go for a part.
82-year-old Holland Worth, who lives on Crow Mountain near Russellville, enjoys playing a variety of musical instruments, from the harmonica to what he calls the boards. But none are as unique as his Prince Albert tobacco can kazoo. Also unique is the way Holland makes his tobacco can kazoos, with a little help of a few socket wrench extenders.
You don't find these in the store anymore.
They're kind of a collector's item now.
Oh, yeah. And some of them really want the price for them. I was looking at one up there at the antique store across on South Arkansas up at Russell. One day I was in there broken around and just seen one laid up on the shelf, and I picked it up to see what the price said. It said $5.
So you got to crimp it a certain way to tune it?
Yeah, you got to have it hitting down there pretty much. Or if it least bit apart, it won't do nothing.
Well, what do you say we play a little dueling kazoos here, eh? All right, you think I'm ready for the American Legion?
Yeah.
By golly, we got it.
On Crow Mountain near Russellville, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin, Arkansas.
In this ever-changing world of ours, it's nice to know that there are a few things around that never change. I always had a liking to old-time barbershops, including the smell 'em good stuff. Yes, sir. Where it makes you feel like a man, smell like a man, instead of a rose. How you doing there, Smitty?
Hello, neighbor. How you been?
L.C. Smith, or Smitty, began barbering in Hot Springs in 1945, when there were 42 or so barbershops in town.
My dad was a barber, and as my older brother grew up, he taught him the business, and I went along. I was crazy about cars. I was going to be a mechanic. When I went away into the service, I'd done a tour in the Naval Hospital Corps. I found out it was just as easy to make a living with clean clothes as it was dirty clothes. So I'd set in to be a barber. But long as old buddies like this keeps coming around, I'll make a living.
Smitty's current workday is usually from 7 to 11 a.m.
Y'all have a good one, that man.
All right, you come back, neighbor. Good to see you, fellers.
And when the last customer of the day heads out the door, Smitty flips over the old sign and heads out to his first love, parked out front, a 1929 Model A. In Hot Springs, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin, Arkansas.